What's up, guys? This is Brave, and I'm back with another review of Ready to Love. This is part 2 of the reunion, and let's go ahead and get right into it because we start off exactly where we left off, and that was with Tommy asking Kyra, basically where does she stand with AJ? Does she want to move forward? And her answer is basically no. You know how Kyra likes to use a lot of words when she talks, but basically the answer was no. So we move on to Troy and all his kissing. And according to him, this isn't how he normally moves in regular life. But, he only had a short amount of time to move around with the ladies. I said, Troy, you are full of it. Stop sitting up here lying. We know this is all a lie. And Amber, I said, let me tell y'all something. Amber was doing a better job as the damn host than Tommy was, because she questioned Troy on that. Like, so why did you say that was your signature move? And he's trying to clarify it in some type of way, and she's like, well, you shouldn't say that then. I said, oh, okay, little Miss Amber. Even though I still don't really like you like that, girl. I don't trust you. So then we move on to Andrea and her cat. We learned that her cat came back, and she's learned from this experience that, it takes her a while to open up to people. I will say, Andrea definitely was like my best dress, and makeup, hair, everything. She just looked really good. Okay, moving on. Oh, actually, before I move on, one thing that I noticed, we did not talk to Dietrich on this show. Am I the only one who caught that? We did not get a check in with him to be like, oh, are you dating or anything like that. I thought that was interesting. Maybe because Tressa wasn't there, and whatever they may have interviewed him about, it got cut, it got scrapped. I don't know. But let's just go ahead and move on to Jason and Kyra. So we do see a never before seen clip with Jason and Kyra talking about mental health. And I'm like, okay, great. I like to see this type of conversation. And Jason, he says that Kyra needed to tell him where she was at. How did she expect for him to wait on her? That's basically what he felt like. But Kyra, she says that her honesty was not a safe place between them. And she says that she felt a shift between them after the 4 guys wanted her. And how he would always bring up Liz to Kyra, which is something that he denies. Now, you guys, I'm going to say this. When it comes to Jason and Kyra, I feel like Jason felt like she needed to make a decision so that he could make a decision. However, like Kyra kept saying, I had 2 options. Therefore, I did not know. The same way you had 2 options and you did not know. So the fact that Kyra mentioned how he would bring up Liz and, kind of throw that in her face, I'm kind of not surprised. I'm sorry, I could definitely see him being the type of person to be like, maybe if I mention the other woman, then that would make her make a decision a little bit faster. You know what I'm saying? So literally at one point, I feel like they were talking in circles. They kept going on and on. Tommy couldn't even get a word in. And I'm just like, Tommy, you are not doing a good job as a host, because you should be able to shut this down and ask your questions that you need to ask. That's the whole reason why you even got hired for the job. You know what I'm saying? So what I feel like happened is that, yes, Jason, you made your decision, right? But here's what I think would have changed this entire thing. If you would have vocalized that to Kyra. Because I feel like once you kind of get to the end and you make a decision at the end, I think that you should tell the person, hey, I'm going to move forward with this person. You get what I'm saying, y'all? If he felt so confused by that last conversation that they had when they were on the ranch after they played, what was it, tennis or something? He basically got his answer that she said, I don't know who I'm going with. I'm going to, continue with this process, right? He could have easily said, well, you know what, sweetheart? Or what's the word he liked to use? You know what, queen? Instead of that, I'm just going to go ahead and let you know now that I'm going to move forward with Kyra, and that is where I'm going to start putting all of my energy. Instead, what he did was he chose Kyra, and I'm going to say that he probably assumed that AJ would probably choose Alexis, and that he would never have to face Kyra on this, probably until, like, the reunion. Like, that's what I really think. I think that he thought that he was not going to have to face Kyra again, especially after they had that one-on-one conversation after that. Because he was already done. He felt like he had already made his choice. But to Kyra, I feel like she wanted him to vocalize to her, hey, I know that you're still indecisive, but at the same time, I have to make a decision for me, and I'm going to move forward with Liz. And I think that is what she was expecting out of him, and that is not what she got. All right. Now, let's just go ahead and move on, because I don't think Tommy even asked any more questions after that, now that I think about it. So when we are about to go to break, right? We can hear Liz, she's talking to Jason, and Jason is over it, but Liz, she tells him how proud she is of him and how he handled this whole thing with respect. I was like, all right, girl, you better stick beside him, stick beside your man. So then we get to David, right? Oh, David. So we get to talk about the whole password drama. And David is basically explaining that he's coming from the standpoint of marriage, right? He wants complete transparency in his marriage. However, you have Stacy on the other hand. I feel like she was talking about from a new relationship standpoint. Like, why would I share, my passwords with somebody who I'm just dating? So once all of this is clarified, though, because they literally take a poll around the room, who would share their passwords with their partner who they're married to. Let me clarify that. Everybody raises their hand. So I'm like, all the women, y'all was over there acting a fool because he said he wanted a password, and all y'all would give y'all passwords up? Okay. Like, yes, in that situation, honestly, I was not Team Stacy at all, because I feel like the way Stacy brought it to the ladies, she was being very messy. She definitely put 20 on 10. Yeah, I was not feeling Stacy, honestly, this entire season. If y'all go back and watch my reviews, you will definitely know that. Let's go ahead and move on, because we gotta get to Joelle and Vernisha. So we knew they had tension, because at one point when Kyra was going off about Ron, Vernisha was like, none of these men are worth anything. Or no, she said they ain't shit, I think. I can't remember. But we already knew from there something was not right. So then when we see them sitting on the couch, they are like so distant. I mean, they could have practically sat on two different couches at that point. Tommy's asking what's going on. Vernisha says that 2 weeks after the process was over, after filming is done, he was a whole different person. Now, he felt like she was moving too fast, but she says that she was going at the same pace that they were going before. But he's the one who slowed down. She talks about how he downplayed their relationship, and she lets us know that basically they were together most of the time during this process, but everything slowed down and they stopped being intimate, right? I mean, listen, these people are grown. I feel like they can do whatever they want to do. If they want to sleep together, that's great for them. I'm pretty sure that they are not the only couple here that were having sex together. So we're not about to go into that. As far as Joelle, though, he says that, he was trying to have a friendship with all the ladies. And then Vernisha chimes in and is like, yeah, you're so busy trying to be friendly with everybody else that you were neglecting me. Now, within that moment, I was like, Joelle, I see that you were trying to be a busybody. Because, like, let's be honest here. Vernisha already said that she's territorial, right? Now, me personally, I don't think there's a problem with you being territorial. You just don't know, you don't want people all up in your man's face. Okay, cool. Now, Joelle, you've already gone through a dating process with these same women, okay? No, you cannot be sitting in their face, calling them, FaceTiming them. No. No. Especially if you want to move forward and try to build a relationship with Vernisha. Like, come on now. So, let me go ahead and hop on back because she said that he was hanging out with Frick and Frack more than her. So then Stacy, first of all, Stacy was giving all the facial expressions on this whole little part because I don't know if it was that she felt guilty or if she was just like, wow, is Vernisha really trying to like mention this? Like, not me. Stacy? I would never. I'm like, I don't trust you, girl. So Vernisha says that Stacy asked him if he had a girlfriend, and he said that he was single, right? So he tries to clarify that he told her that he doesn't have a girlfriend and that him and Vernisha were taking their time. I said, okay, so you vocalized that you don't have a girlfriend just yet, but you and Vernisha were taking your time, which means that you technically have someone in your life that you have an interest with. Like, this is why, another thing, I don't understand this show. Because the ladies go into this and they think, I'm going to find love. I'm going to find a partner. And by the end of this, yes, we should be in a committed relationship. And we should be saying that, yes, I'm going to be your girlfriend. You're going to be my boyfriend. However, when it comes to the guys, I feel like if they find a person that they like, I'm not even going to say love. If they find a person that they like, cool. If they don't, cool. They just did it for the camera time, for the most part. Alright, so back to the topic at hand, and that would be Vernisha saying that Stacy thought that he was fair game. She thought that there was a chance for her and Joelle, but Stacy denies it. So then Tommy wants to know, how has Vernisha heard all these things? And she's like, the cast have told me what's going on. So Stacy, she kind of comes at Vernisha a little bit because of that accusation. But Vernisha's like, listen, if that's not true, I apologize. But then again, she still don't trust her. She said she don't trust Stacy because Stacy tends to overstep boundaries. And I can't lie, I can see that happening with Stacy. Stacy just gives me the vibe that she's the type of person that will overstep a boundary and be like, girl, don't nobody want your man, even though she done rubbed all up on him. You know what I'm saying? So, anyways, Joelle, he feels like Vernisha is trying to dictate how he moves. And he also says that, Vernisha wanted to start staying at his house and he didn't want that. Like, my only question with that is, has there ever been times where you stayed at her house? Because if that's the case, why is it okay for you to come crash at her house, but she can't come to yours? That's my only question. Then he brings up this whole situation with his mother-in-law passing and Amber reaching out to him and offering him to like, oh, if you just want to go get food or something, I can bring you food, all this stuff. And Amber chimes in and she says that Vernisha was like, oh, well, I would be upset if you would have gone out with him alone, basically. I mean, I don't blame her. Hear me out, y'all. If y'all remember, you have Amber who has gone out on a few dates with Joelle. A few dates that we didn't even get to see. And we don't have time for Amber to pull an Alexis. Because I'm pretty sure a lot of y'all have heard the rumor. Well, allegedly, this is what went down with AJ and Alexis. So basically, when Kyra went out of town or whatever, and Alexis was hanging out with AJ, they actually slept together. And basically, it was kind of downplayed for TV that, oh, they just kissed. No, a little bit more went down. So, listen, I don't trust Amber like that. So, Amber might have tried to pull an Alexis, y'all. We never know. So, Tommy ends up asking Joelle, if this is a communication problem, because he knows that sometimes Joelle's communication is trash. And he says, not this time. But Vernisha is like, no, he hears things, and instead of coming to me, he automatically starts treating me differently. Now, you guys, I have to say that is definitely something that he does. Because remember when he had that whole, oh, she's clingy, and his friend, that girl, was like, yeah, she's clingy. By that next episode, that was when he was supposed to go out to eat with her, and he didn't, and he never told her what was going on, that the plans had changed. And he basically took it as her trying to check up on him when she was just, asking like, hey, did something happen? Like, did something bad happen for the plans to change, because I haven't heard from you? But he took it as her trying to be clingy and know everything, that his every move. So yeah, I do believe Renisha all the way on this. So Tommy ends up asking if Joel still cares about Renisha, and of course he says yes, because clearly there was some type of feelings there. But he says that they both need to step back. And Joel brings up Renisha saying that she would have slapped somebody if they were in Joel's face. And she has to clarify that she's too old to be fighting. But I feel like in that situation, you know how sometimes us ladies can talk when you're in a heated discussion with your man and he trying to bring some other female up. You like, listen, if she come up in your face and she trying to play up in your face and be all cute in your face, I'm going to slap her. You know what I'm saying? Or is that just me? Let me know if it's just me, y'all. So, Renisha says that she is super disappointed in how things turned out, because she doesn't have to chase any man. Because he could have just said, hey, we can date other people, but still, date each other. And Joel doesn't want to fix the situation. So that pretty much wrapped that scene up. And we see Vernisha in the back. She's tearing up with Dietrich. And, she's pissed off at the situation. She feels like they were trying to downplay the situation. And I don't know if that was Amber trying to downplay the situation, or Stacy, or both. As in, there were some other things that were going down that weren't, spoken of on the show. Now, let's go ahead and move on to David and Liz. Oh, God. So, David says that there was a lot more that happened when he acted a fool that day. But to me, this scene seems very chopped, because his response was about how men have left her in the past. And I'm like, what did that have to do with what you were answering about how we got to that point of you acting a fool? So I don't know what was said or what got chopped, but it was very choppy to me. So he basically says that he did not, call her out in front of his friends. He says that he complimented her on the fact that she even told him about kissing Jason. Now, she says that it's a lie. So it's he say, she say, choose whoever you believe. Cool. So before their last meetup, he says that somebody told her that he didn't choose her in the last, that one where he ended up choosing Kyra in that gentleman's lounge. And he says that at that point he was basically over it and he wanted to remove himself. Now, here's my thing though, because I feel like we could have circled back right there. Who told her anything? Because she is not the only woman who felt some type of way with that decision on that episode when all the guys chose Kyra. Like, I think we should have delved a little deeper into that conversation, but whatever. So Tommy is like, listen, when you want to remove yourself, it has to come through me. Blah, blah, blah. Here's my thing. If somebody want to go home, they can go home, Tommy. Why did it need to go through you? That doesn't make any sense. What are you going to do? Talk them out of it? Like, how is that going to help at all? Anyways, so David, he sort of kind of apologizes, even though while he was trying to apologize, Tommy interrupted him. I'm like, what are you doing, Tommy? Terrible host. So we get on to Jason and Liz. Now, I forgot to mention, when that situation was over, that David and Liz scene, did y'all catch when when Jason walked up on Liz and like gave her the fist bump and was like, my nigga? I said, excuse me? You're saying that to Liz? Okay, girl. If you like it, I love it. So we get to Jason and Liz, and she talks about how she loves his honesty and how consistent he is with her, and of course his spiritual grounding and all that stuff. So then we get to Jason, and he says that, you know, Liz puts herself in the position to be pursued, and how she's strong and all this stuff. And I feel like at one point there was like a little slight diss to Kyra, but you know, whatever. So Tommy ends up asking them about intimacy because, of course, that would be the big question for this couple. But we already know they ain't really doing nothing. They do a little kiss here, kiss there, but that's about it. Jason knows that he can only go so far with Liz, and we learn that they are exclusively dating. That is his girlfriend. She is his boy. No, wait. He is her boyfriend. She is his girlfriend, and that is that. So we go around the room. Everyone has their little last remarks. The only thing that was really said was that most of these people are still looking for love, and that was pretty much that. That was the end of the reunion. Overall, this season, I would say it was cool. It was cool for what it was. I just really wish that we would let people stay on for like the whole season. Like, I would really love if Readytolove would let everybody stay on like the whole time. And then by the end, if you don't find love, you just don't find love. But you know what I'm saying? Because we see like there are connections that are being made when the show, you know, is over, because this person got sent home, that person got sent home, and then they end up talking. But I feel like, you know, maybe we could see their little love story blossom if they were on the show a little bit longer. But, you know, whatever. As far as all the cast goes, they were whatever. Like, nobody really stood out to me. It was like, oh my gosh, they're the couple that I want to, like, really make it. When I think about the couples that made it to the end, I'm not surprised that KG and Amber made it to the end, because KG had to prove, you know, that he would make it, considering they let him come back. Vernisha and Joelle, did I like them? Yes. But I always question how deep their connection was to begin with. Now, when it comes to Liz and Jason, y'all already know I was not seeing it for Jason, because I always felt like he only liked Liz once she changed her appearance and her look, and I did not appreciate that, because he never checked for her with her curly hair, only when it's straight, and when she was showing that body yaddy. But if that is their love story, great for them. I'm glad that Liz, you know, found somebody, and hopefully Jason continues to make her happy. Who else is there? Oh, Kyra and AJ. Girl, just move on from him. Kyra, go find somebody else. AJ, go find somebody else, and let that be that. You guys, thanks so much for watching my videos and listening in on what I thought about the show. It has been a ride with Readytolove. I'm glad that the show will be back this fall, and they're moving to a new city. They'll be in DC. I'm so ready for that. But again, thank you to everyone who has listened to what I've had to say. Is greatly appreciated, and I will catch you guys in the next one. Go ahead and like, comment, and subscribe to my channel, and drop how you felt about this season in the comments. Alright guys, bye.